Hello, good morning. Eccentric. We're going to go give a small example, physical example. Consider a person who is on a free fall. I often give this example. Or he's in a place above the atmosphere where there is zero gravity. Could such a person exercise or lift a free weight? Like this is a free weight to do some kind of, an exercise? No, he can't, because zero gravity. He's above, this kind of attraction. There's no gravity. Therefore, if you leave this as a free weight, it will blow. It will go. You too. There's no force. In order for you to exercise, it has to be a force that contradicts the other force, two forces. Another case, you are in a free fall with a parachute. Do the same thing. No, you can't. And why is that? You don't have a platform. You are falling, you don't have a platform. You're going to fall. You, with your free weight, you are falling. Another case, you are swimming in a deep swimming pool where you have to do the same thing. Could that possible be? Or will you be able to do that? No. What is the question? Will you be able to exercise while being on the surface of a swimming pool and you take a free weight to exercise? No, you can't. You need a base, a trampoline, a platform on which you stand to exercise. So that's very important. So you are on this platform. What do we need? It is essential, that's necessary to have the standpoint on which you stand here. And you have your center of gravity. Then you can act and react. So you behave from your own axis. You cannot, if you don't have your standpoint, you cannot behave, talking psychically, you cannot act physically, you cannot react, you don't have that standpoint which is yours, your psyche. I gave a physical example. When it comes to psychic behavior, is the same thing. The only thing, things are very abstract. We don't know that. Let's get directly to the point. The obligations, prohibitions on this earth, when they were revealed, all of them here on earth through Angel Gabriel, who comes to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon them, to reveal whatever the obligation or the prohibition. So we speak about obligations. You have to fulfill. You're not doing God a favor, you're doing a favor to yourself. All right, so we should understand that. Except the prayer. That's the only one that was prescribed on the seventh heaven. Not the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, whatever. No, above that. Say above the Sidrat al-Muntaha. Infinity. This is just an expression. There's no such a, place is here. We say Sidrat al-Muntaha, above that. And why God did not ask the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to pray over there? The prayer was meant to link the terrestrial world with the celestial world, and it has to be accomplished on the terrestrial world. He came down here to pray on earth. On his way back, before that, it was prescribed 50 times in 24 hours. On his way down, he met with the Prophet Moses, peace be upon them. He told him, I have an experience with my nation, with the children of Israel. I am positive, sure, they won't be able to accomplish 50 times in 24 hours. Go back to your God, ask him to reduce the number. He went back and forth. Every time he reduces certain number of prayers, up to the time when it became 5 prayers. He asked him again. He said, go back. They're not going to respect that, because he has this experience and he knows that this nation, at the end of the time, they will face a lot of tribulations, fitna. And the fitna is not just a problem. The fitna is obscurity. You don't know the truth from, the lies. That's the fitna, is when you cannot identify the truth. It's very dark, the world. He said, I'm ashamed to go back. 50 times. In 24 hours, the time changes 50 times, 50. If the time changes, there is a beginning, a segment of time. There is a beginning, there is an end, segment. Where is he positioned, a human being? It was reduced is 1/10. In other words, every 10 prayers, God had reduced them to 1. What does it mean? It's 1 prayer that is equal to 10 prayers. So we have 5 prayers in 24 hours. But that prayer, what is it? We have in the Orthodoxy or the Sharia, we call it the beginning of the time. We call it has certain length of time. We say al-waqt al-ikhtiyari, the chosen time. Ikhtiyari, it has to be done that way, that time Pluto. Then it is extended a little bit. It is a dharuri, we call it a dharuri. It's more. Once that segment of time is finished and it has an end, and it becomes qada. Some of ulama, they say he has to accomplish the prayer anyhow, but it is considered as it's a big loss. Do you understand my point? So each prayer, I am not going to give everyone, like Dhuhr has certain time, then it's not counted with minutes. No, because all the lunar calendar is turning epicycloid over the 4 seasons. So it is changing. The thing is, why we are talking about this? The world is a rotation, is pivoting. We have the Earth that is turning around itself 24 hours. It is turning around the sun, which is considering is the 4 seasons. 4 seasons, you see, epicycloid turning like this, at the same time doing like this. This is what is the epicycloid. A human being, the same thing in his mind. When he doesn't accomplish that, he becomes eccentric, far from his axis. There is no axis. The center of gravity we spoke about initially, earlier. He doesn't behave from his. He behaves from the ripples. The ripples could be anything. The ripples, how the ripples are. You drop a piece of rock. Depends on the density of the rock. You're going to notice those undulational ripples spreading towards the periphery. He is carried away. He doesn't behave from his center of gravity, from his axis. So this time, as I said, what does it do to you? What are those shurut we say in Arabic? As-salat. Shurut, the conditions. At-tahara. Say purification. You do the ablution. Ablution towards the self, the members. Al-wudu. But facing the Kaaba. Facing the Kaaba. The world is pivoting. you are facing the Kaaba at the time, you don't do it. You are, as I said, blown away. You are carried away. You become eccentric. You behave from the institution. You behave from the organization. You behave from other platforms that are even not yours. They are not your center of gravity. The reason why God described the disbelievers, he said, we will show them the results of their actions once they leave this world. Immensity. They look at them, they are disintegrated in front of them. This is what you thought probably you were accomplishing or building or structuring in a previous life. هباء منثورا وقدمنا إلى ما عملوا وجعلناه هباء منثورا. It's like ashes. As I said, facing the Kaaba. You know, in the chapter The Cow, go to chapter, to the verse 144. It is repeated 5 times, only in Surah Al-Baqarah. He say, at the time when, the Qibla was in Jerusalem, and then it was shifted to Mecca, to the Kaaba. He say, in the 144 twice. Look at here. فَلَنُوَلِّنَنَّكَ قِبْلَةً تَرْضَاهَا. We're going to show you a qibla that will be satisfied with. He said, فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطْرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ. So turn your face towards al-Masjid al-Haram, which is Mecca, the Kaaba. One time. He repeated, وَحَيْثُ مَا كُنْتُمْ. So any situation. The prayer we understand, even sitting. You're sitting like now, the qibla is behind me. But you have in your mind the clockwise. You understand the word, the clockwise, what if? I am under no choice. I have to speak to public or I have to be in classroom. I understand. I have to. But in your mind, you have it that in front of you. You will gain a lot. The second thing is say, وَحَيْثُ مَا كُنْتُمْ فَوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ شَطْرَهُ. Twice. In verse 144. In verse 149, I'm talking about 48, 49. وَمِنْ حَيْثُ خَرَجْتَ فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ. From where you live, from where you exit. مِنْ حَيْثُ خَرَجْتَ. From the house, from your town. مِنْ حَيْثُ خَرَجْتَ فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ. This is the third time. شَطْرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ وَإِنَّهُ لَلْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّكَ. D'ailleurs, however, they said whenever you build a house, you always put your door facing the Kaaba. If you get this chance, you're not going to modify a whole house if you live in New York. This is 149. All right, so now let's go now to 150. The fourth time you say, وَمِنْ حَيْثُ خَرَجْتَ فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطْرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ. Another time, look at that. وَحَيْثُ مَا كُنْتُمْ فَوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ شَطْرَهُ لِلَّا يَكُونَ لِلنَّاسِ عَلَيْكُمْ حُجَّةٌ. Sitting wherever, try to do your best. The reason why the brain won't be eccentric. You'll be blown by ripples. Your mind will be under always in that axis. You are centered even if you go anywhere. Thank you very much for your presence. I see you soon.